One thing is get your house in order, practically speaking, right? If you're using a tool like TrustArc, one mitigating strategy here is actually making sure that things work correctly. Because as I mentioned with my mode analogy, it's a handshake. And this isn't just TrustArc point. If you're using one of our competitors, which we hope you only use TrustArc, but if you are, right, it's still a handshake where that platform is interfacing with your house, for lack of a better word, your castle and your moat. Um, so making sure that your website and your tag management solution are working correctly, knowing what pixels and tags, et cetera, you have, which again, we can help you with, but you need to know anyways. And making sure that that all works correctly is one critical component of this. Another is really just strategy, right? Is the juice worth the squeeze in terms of what you're tracking and how and why? Broadly speaking, using a tracking pixel, isn't across the board illegal, right? To answer that one question, it's going to depend on if you're an opt-in or opt-out jurisdiction, what you're doing, etc. And also, it depends on if you agree with some of the plaintiffs' counsel allegations versus what things like CCPA say. But Scott, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, I agree with everything you said, but the one thing you do need to keep in mind is you cannot outsource your own responsibility for the data you're collecting, using, transmitting, storing, whatever it is, right? So you need to actually take ownership both on your website properties, your applications, but also just in your own data collection and data governance programs, right? So we're in a world right now where there's a lot of attention on websites, but we're also collecting data through other kind of analog means too, and we have the ability to combine all that. So that's one. That's kind of your keep your house in order, and then effectively utilizing tools on your website. So true story, I was on the phone with one of the leading plaintiffs counsel in the CIPA cases last week. I was like, you guys keep changing your mind about why everybody's violating CIPA. What do you want us to do? And the guy says, you should go buy TrustArc. And that's both a plug for TrustArc, but it's also a plug for using technologies that give you a window into what you're doing, and then using a construct that allows you to look into the world of what you're doing with data. And then the final thing I would say, a plug for lawyers, is get a lawyer who knows what they're talking about in the space and can advise you. It's not the most expensive thing in the world, and the advice is pretty easy.